all the cities signed an agreement that said that if there was video like that, it became the property of the district attorney's office. So the district attorney really has jurisdiction over that video and makes the decision as to whether or not it should be released.
So it's not on the police department, it's not on the mayor's office of El Cajon, we are talking about the county.
Right. The county of San Diego, the district attorney's office, Bonnie DeMantis, specifically her office. And I did talk with her on Tuesday evening, and we discussed all the aspects of that. And as a result of that discussion, we decided to allow that one still picture that came out, and I think you've seen that picture before.
The perception is that picture doesn't tell the whole story. You've seen the video. Mm-hmm. Why not just release it then? I
think it will be released pretty quickly, but here's the problem. This is not the Oprah show. This is not television. This is real life. We've got to go through the process. The FBI want to look at it. The district attorney need to look at it. The El Cajon Police Department needs to look at it. People have to be interviewed. It's a process. And if we bow to pressure to just release everything very quickly, it could taint and damage the evidence to the point where it's not useful anymore.
The photo was released relatively quickly.
Yes.
So the perception out there is that that photo tells the story that the police department wants it to tell. Do you see it that way?
I've seen the video. I think that once the entire video is released, people are going to be very understanding of what's happening. I don't think there's going to be a lot of shock or new revelation. I think the reason we decided to release that video was because there were people saying that the gentleman had his hands up in the air and he was saying, "Don't shoot me." There was a lot of misinformation or disinformation going out there. We at least wanted to show what happened and the reason that the officer felt like he had to do what he had to do.
Does your city have a racism problem?
I really don't think so. In fact, we had a press conference yesterday. I had people from all over the community with me, and the reason I did that was not to call people up and say, "Hey, stand beside me and let's show how diverse we are." No, these are all people that I'm working with on a regular basis. When these kind of things happen, people often say this is the time that we need to start having a dialogue about race. But El Cajon has been proactive about that. We've been having a dialogue about race for years and years now. Part of that is because we've had to deal with things that other cities haven't had to deal with. We are a very large immigrant population in El Cajon. We've had a lot of new faces coming in from all over the world, and that has taken some getting used to. Those people had to be trained on how to interact with our police officers. Our police officers had to be trained on how to interact with them. So we're constantly aware that there are new and interesting diversity problems coming up. Not necessarily problems, but challenges. And so we've been working on it for quite a while.
You're hearing a lot from the protesters saying that they're afraid. They're afraid to go out and have an interaction with a police officer. They're afraid for their lives. What is your message to the protesters in your city?
Well, the first thing I want to say is that I understand. I think, when these things happen, it's so easy to want to circle the wagons and to protect your police officers and protect your city, because we know these guys and we know they're good guys. But at the same time, there is a reality that some people are living that is different than the reality that the police officers are living. They are afraid. They oftentimes feel like the deck is stacked against them. They feel like they can't get justice. I empathize with that, and I understand that that's got to be a very frightening way to feel. So I'm aware of that. I don't want to tell anybody they're wrong. What I want to do is show people that they're safe. So the way in which that we did that was by allowing people the space to protest and march and do whatever they had to do all through the night. And I think we were successful in that because nobody got arrested last night. Nobody got hurt. There were no windows broken, no fire started. So right now the system's working. People are getting their voices heard. They're venting their anger. They're making sure that the city and the police are being held accountable for their actions. And yet they're behaving very well and they're not doing anything. This is the way it's supposed to happen.
But you're having businesses in your city having to shut down early and close.
It's a precaution. Sometimes you have to protect life and property.
Mm-hmm. You know, the FBI, I know the cries were also, we want a federal investigation, an independent agency to investigate. They're getting that with the FBI looking into this, correct?
Well, actually, there's 3 agencies investigating this. So there's there's the El Cajon Police that are investigating it. There's the San Diego District Attorney's Office who had their investigators out there simultaneously with our investigators doing their own investigation, and the FBI has been called in as well.
They also, and they wanted that, it seems to be one of the things they're getting, and also obviously the video. You mentioned that you think it will be released. Do you have a timetable?
It's not up to me. This is out of my hands, but I would suspect, because the video is very short and there's not a tremendous amount of information to process, I would expect it would be released fairly soon.
What else do you want to tell people in your city right now during this time?
I just want to tell people that we care about both sides. We care about everybody that's involved. We certainly are not turning our backs on safety. Safety is paramount. We're going to make sure that our people are safe. We're going to make sure our property is safe. But at the same time, we have no interest in stifling or hurting or stopping a legitimate protest. People are more than welcome to do this. Their First Amendment right, and our police are very aware of that. And also, I understand the desire to do that. I understand that there's a lot of hurt feelings and there's a lot of unhappy people. And most of all, I want to say, for everybody involved, this is a tragedy. Nobody wants loss of life. I'm devastated by this. It breaks my heart. I know there's a mom and a dad and a sister and a brother out there who are devastated, who will never get over this. And even the police officers who are involved in it are devastated. So this is a terrible situation, and I want to make sure we don't make it any worse.
And we had one officer fire off a taser, one officer fire shot, at least one shot, that's all we know. There's a lot of people calling that this officer they're jumping to conclusions saying this officer needs to be punished. You've seen the video, you're one of the rare people who have seen the video. What are your thoughts on the outcome of what should happen to the officers?
I think we should go through the process. I think we live in the greatest country in the world, and this is a place where anybody is guaranteed their rights. Everybody is guaranteed a due process, and the police officer definitely will go through that process, and he will be exonerated or he will be punished based upon the evidence, not based upon my opinion or anybody else's opinion.
Do you think a lot of people should turn their attention to the county and the DA's office to release the video rather than pointing the finger at the El Cajon Police Department so they can see this video?
I think it's a combined effort. I don't mind people asking us to release the video. It probably makes more sense to focus on talking with us since we're the lead entity in the investigation. I'm not going to punt this to the district attorney and say I have nothing to do with this anymore. I'm in constant contact with their office. We're discussing it every morning and every evening. This is an ongoing process, and I certainly don't. It would be easy to say, yes, leave us alone and go and talk to the district attorney, but I think the agency is actually most responsible for dealing with this.
Just the last question, your emotions. I mean, as the mayor of El Cajon, and your city is in the national spotlight right now.
It's surprising to me. I never expected this. Of course, you watch the things that happen in Ferguson and Charlotte, and you say, I wonder what would happen if it happened here, but I just can't imagine it happening here. And then it did. I just want to make sure that we learn from mistakes that other cities have made and that we do it right. We do it in a way where everybody's rights are protected and yet everybody's safety is also protected.